to league standout for 11 seasons with the Houston Rockets, Philadelphia 76ers, and the Sacramento Kings. This is Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go. Show number 2, Unfiltered with your boy Kenny Thomas. 95.9 FM 610, the Sports Animal. You will be able to call in throughout the show, 505-246-0610. Got an exciting show for you today. We are all over the place, man. But at the same time, those Knicks and Pacers, we're going to get into those, and you will be able to call in and chop it up with your boy. But Zay, what's up, man? What's going on? Hey, man, let me tell you something. I love that intro, bro.
Yeah, that intro.
Intro fire.
It hits better the second time than it did the first one. How you feeling, man? I'm doing good. Just woke up, got a lot of sleep. I feel great this morning. That game yesterday was awesome. Did not expect the Pacers to, come out with that type of heat, but I can see here on the live stream, I can see you're in a hotel room, so they got you put up well over there. Hold up.
Whoa. Yeah, a little mini suite, bro.
He said it's not a room. It's a little suite.
Yeah. I'm trying to block it right now. But hey, I'm actually in San Jose. I'm not in the studio with Zay right now. Had to travel out to San Jose I am a board advisor for the Women's PBA League. The CEO will be coming on in a little bit at the top of the next hour to talk about what she's doing. She's doing some amazing things. Her name is Fatima. Being able to be a part of this women's organization is huge because if you know who I am, I'm a big person when it comes to supporting not only kids, but to supporting women as well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, our men, we always get the due, right? But the women are not getting the due that they deserve. And I also have an AAU program with my boy Josh Kearns, which is Zia Sports Academy, to where the majority of our kids are girls. So we have over 200 kids, and yeah, we're gonna get into some stuff. I got a tournament going on right now in my town, but my boy Josh Kearns is holding me down. We're gonna get some of the kids on also in the next hour to be able to bring them on and be able to talk a little bit of basketball and about their experiences. But if you want to call in right now, you can always call in and chop it up with your boy.
Of course.
505-246-0610. Hey, let's get into the Knicks Pacers right now.
And that was a crazy game. I tell you what, Tyrese Halliburton is the hardest person to predict because he'll either come out and he's pass, or he'll come out and he can score and pass. And it really just makes it hard to prepare for the Pacers. You don't know how he's going to approach the game.
Yeah, man, Tyrese is an amazing player. The fact that they were saying he was overrated, come on.
Yeah.
I got to go back to that. But you got to give the Pacers credit. The way they came back from being down 17 points in the first game, that wasn't supposed to happen, especially being in New York. I'm not going to lie, man. There's no way that I saw the Pacers winning this game last night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially being in New York in that environment and playing with me having an opportunity to play in Madison Square Garden, you would have never thought that. Come on, man.
And then
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I also would have never expected our guy, Mr. Light in the Butt, to go out for 39 points. I'm like, he must have been listening Unfiltered last week.
See, got a little hot out of the booty a little bit. But, hey, come on, man. I need you all to know where I was coming from by saying he's light in the butt because Zay was trying to compare my game to Pascal Siakam. You know what I mean? I don't know if he was trying to do the New Mexico State thing, which I wasn't feeling. But the way that Pascal came out, scored 39, and led that team to a victory, man, who would have ever thought that was going to go down the way it did? I didn't.
No, not me.
I keep saying that, but I didn't.
No, not me at all. And to be honest, it wasn't until after the show, and I had one of my homeboys be like, hold on, Pascal played for State. And I was like, oh.
You didn't know that?
No, I knew, but in the heat of the moment, because we were just talking basketball. So when I heard his name up, it was just a really bad coincidence that he's the guy I chose, and I wasn't even thinking about it. But no, he did have a good game. He did a lot of threes, mid-range jumpers. He definitely was not in there in the paint. When I was watching the replay, Towns, I know you were calling on him to do something, have some force.
39.
he put on another show, and I'm like, okay, Towns.
Yeah, but he needs to score more. I'm sorry. I'm very demanding right now. Who's gonna be that? Who's gonna be that second? And who's gonna be that second guy outside of Brunson? And it should be him because after Cat, who's that third option? I'm sorry, but all those other guys are role players in my eyes. Cat, you got to do more. Everybody's seen Brunson do more. Everybody wants him to do more. So the big fella got to step up.
Brunson,
you know what I mean?
when I'm watching him, you can tell he's old school. You can tell his dad has an influence, because the way he plays, he doesn't play like, nowadays, like everyone's shooting all these threes. He does put up his threes, but that mid-range turnaround of his, that fadeaway he's got and he's left-handed, so I feel like it's real hard to guard.
His dad had great footwork. I played against his dad, especially being up in Philly, getting ready before the NBA season started. But they were breaking down Brunson's footwork, and it was phenomenal. You know what I mean? He's patient. He's dictating what he wants. That's what I used to do. Your boy right here, just to let you know. Especially when I had a big tree trunk on me, like a Tim Duncan or a David Robinson. I used to always try and use my footwork to my advantage to be able to help me to be able to succeed. If you're listening right now, you can call in and chop it up with your boy, 505-246-0610. Call if you're listening. I appreciate the support and everything. But I got to rewind, man. I'm going to rewind a little bit.
Let's
why
rewind.
I'm here.
Yeah, let's rewind.
Why I'm here. I kind of jumped the gun and went to the Pacers, but being a part of this organization, the WPBA, which is the Women's Premier Basketball Association, I'm also, Gary Payton is also on the board. So my boy was here yesterday.
Really?
Being able to see him, oh yeah, I lit up when I saw him, man. People probably don't remember this, but the people that were in my basketball camps back in the day, you would have seen Gary Payton come to Albuquerque for me. It was probably about 15 years ago. He flew on Southwest, didn't have to get him a first class ticket or anything. But he came to Albuquerque for me, and it was a great time. He's going to come back for my golf tournament September 6th, and he's coming on the show.
Wow. Whoa.
The glove is in my phone, man. Are you kidding me? He's coming on the show. Just getting started.
Just getting started. Just heating it up. How's Gary doing?
He good. Now get this. I got another part. So I'm up there talking to my boy. I'm talking to GP. And then next thing you know, he's like, Kenny, you're on my wall. I was like, what? He's like, there's two young boys on my wall. You're going to love this. He put me in a category with Kobe Bryant, bro. We his two young boys that are on his wall. Are you kidding me? I was like, man, I started sweating, bro. I had to take a break and go to the bathroom and get some paper towels real quick to just freshen up a little bit, man. It was bad. And he said it in front of his people, like 3 or 4 of his people. And it was legit. I'm like, Gary, are you kidding me? He's like, I'm going to send you a picture. I'm like, I'm waiting for the picture to come right now.
As we speak. No, that's cool, dude. That's dope. One of the greats.
So when I used to go to Seattle, when he was on the Seattle Supersonics, my boy GP used to take me out. He's like, came up to me. He's like, yo, I like your game. Let's go hang out after. I didn't pay for nothing.
Wow.
That's when I was making like $600,000-$700,000, man. This man was making like $15 million. You know what I mean? But yeah. Hey, if you got any questions about GP or in general about what we're talking about, call 505-246-0610. We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. 95.9 FM, 610 AM, the Sports Animal. Welcome back with your boy, Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of messaging. There's different things we got going on right now. 95.9 FM, 610 AM, the Sports Animal. You can call 505-246-0610. Zay, are you kidding me? Michael Jordan is in the headlines again. I mean, come on, man. The man is coming on Peacock. They're going to be pre-recorded. And your boy had a chance to play against him, obviously.
Yeah.
With what we posted last time as far as me being able to be next to the man. Telling my story, how he denied me his shoes. But you got a guy with David Falk, man, that has managed obviously a lot of good guys, right? Mike Bibby is another guy. I had a chance to actually hang out with David Falk in a club one night, and he was like, "Yo, Kenny, I want to sign you." I was like, "What?" My mouth opens, and then next thing you know, I'm a dummy. I'm like, I need to be loyal to my agent that I have. I could be rocking brand Jordan right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way Mike is coming out and making some good points as far as like the LeBron situation. I know there's a lot of LeBron guys out there, but when you have a David Falk that's representing you and saying if Michael Jordan could have gone any place he wanted, he probably have 15, 20 rings. He said 15, but I think he would have 20.
Oh, so you okay? So you're on the train, or
Oh yeah.
you feel like probably you're on the right side.
Oh yeah. Imagine if I had a choice to be able to go where I wanted to, man. I still probably be in the league making money. Think about it. No? Think about it, man.
Hmm.
Hey, if you're out there listening, if you want to call and chop it up with me about this topic or whatnot, or what we have spoke about, call 505-246-0610.
I
Come on,
agree. I
man.
agree. I think it's a lot of people are always like, oh, but he had Pippen, he had the team, and it's like, no, but he could have went different places. Also, what makes it hard to determine this is Jordan didn't play as many seasons as a LeBron, so like you can't just. I feel like LeBron, the longevity is really on his side for a
Whoa, whoa,
lot
whoa,
of
whoa,
this.
whoa, 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 whoa. This league is well, come on, man. The league now compared to when Michael Jordan was in, I came in towards the end of that era,
Hmm.
the Michael Jordan era. You know what I mean? It was a way more physical game, I feel like, than it is now.
hundred
Obviously,
percent.
I'm not playing in the game, but maybe I'm saying it's less physical now because you got all these guys shooting from the perimeter. LeBron was the first one to decide, hey, I'm about to have this press conference and I'm gonna be the guy that's gonna dictate where I go and make a decision. Come on, man.
Hmm. So where do you have LeBron on the all time list?
As far as what?
Like just the
All time NBA?
yeah, all like best player ever, because that's pretty much what what David Falk was
Come
asked.
on.
Like, yeah, who you got, LeBron or Jordan? And he's like, look, I love LeBron, but if Jordan would have went wherever he wanted, he would have had 15 rings. So Jordan's for sure first, but how far after do you then slot LeBron in there?
After about 4, 5,
Put him at 5,
4, 5.
4,
Come
5.
on, you got Magic, you got Kobe, you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you got Larry Bird. Must I keep going?
No.
Are you kidding
That's
me?
already.
I know it's a show and all, but do I really need to keep going?
No, I'm on your
But that's
side.
just me. Are you serious, man? With your age, you really not a LeBron James fan like
Well,
that? Even though
so
you're a Lakers fan?
So if you were a Kobe homer, right? If that's like all you know about basketball, then Jordan, because even Kobe conceded. Now we know Kobe would want to go at Jordan, but also when it came
Yeah, you
down to
would.
it, he's like, "Yo, that's Mike. Stop telling." But deep down, we know how he felt. But he would tell people like, "Look, that's Mike. Stop putting me. Don't do that to me." Kind of. At
Oh,
least
he shouldn't have copied him with the tongue and everything. Come on, man. I want to be like Mike. Everybody wanted to be like Mike, and Kobe's the main one.
for
You
sure,
kidding me?
but Kobe fans, look, LeBron didn't even really grow on us until he came to the Lakers, and even then it was hard. It's for me, it's still tough. When Luka came, that felt more. It was easier for me to accept Luka as a Laker fan than when LeBron came.
What?
Oh yeah, because LeBron, we knew he was coming with a
You
tsunami of
tripping?
fans.
You tripping?
All the LeBron fans are gonna, and guess what they did? Anytime they say LeBron's the first Laker to do this, how come Kobe couldn't do it? How come Kobe couldn't do it? And it's like, here we go. This is why the LeBron
Are
fan
you
base is toxic.
what? Toxic?
LeBron fans are toxic.
But did you not hear yourself say that LeBron brought all the fans? And
His fans.
yeah, that's why you have a big fan base with the Lakers now. You being a Laker fan.
The Laker fan base did not need LeBron's fans.
What you out of your mind?
We needed
How
LeBron.
do you get LeBron without his fans? You know that makes no sense.
Yeah, but what other player other than maybe Jordan ever had a fan base so loyal that wherever that player went, they just completely forgot about the team he was playing on and they just literally 100% dove into the fan base of whatever team that player went on. LeBron fans, they moved to Miami when he went to Miami,
Oh my goodness.
took over Miami. Then he went from Miami back to Cleveland. Of course, that was original. Well, he came to the Lakers. Oh my goodness. How come Kobe didn't do it? How come Kobe didn't do it? Kobe didn't do that. And it's like, can we just appreciate him winning us a game? Like, I want to enjoy LeBron as a Lakers fan. I don't want to have to every single time start a Kobe LeBron argument because LeBron.
That's always going to be there. It's always going to be there.
Unfortunately.
The Kobe and LeBron James thing is always going to be there. You're listening to Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas. You can call 505-246-0610 to chop it up with your boy. What you laughing at?
I like it. Kenny's getting good at this thing, y'all. Kenny's getting good at this thing.
I'm like, what you laughing at, man? Hey.
True.
On 95.9 FM and 610 AM, the Sports Animal. It's getting in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a true athlete. Hey, you can't take that. You cannot take the athletic mindset out the athlete learning fast. But nah, man. I think that the Jordan LeBron debate, he's just got to stop. I think they're two different players to the point where you're trying to have the GOAT debate. LeBron's too much of a Swiss Army knife of a player. I think Jordan.
What?
I think Jordan knew what his identity.
Who's the better shooter?
I'm taking Jordan.
Over who?
LeBron.
Whoa. Are you kidding me? Jordan was a lethal mid-range shooter. LeBron can actually shoot a little bit better from behind the perimeter.
I think if Jordan played today, he'd be a better three-point shooter. I don't think you didn't have to be a great three-point shooter back then. Like, he could get away.
That's why.
What's up?
Go ahead. That's why Jordan was good at what he does by playing a great mid-range game because he didn't have to shoot the three.
Exactly. Why shoot the three? You got your players to shoot the three, and if you can get enough mid-range shots to drop at a high, he was shooting like 49, 50% contested jumpers. So he didn't need to.
Fair.
But LeBron, I mean, that's why he's gotten better. If the league would have stayed the way it was in 2009, I think LeBron would have never became this 40. He was almost 40% three-point shooter last year, I think.
Oh, was he?
I think last year he had his highest three-point percentage. It was either that or the year before in his career.
Hey, let me tell you that wear and tear getting to the rim is starting to wear on him.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna just stay out here and shoot.
He don't want to go in there and take none of that contact like that, even though he's a big beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially he didn't want none of that Ant-Man smoke too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see it now. Just LeBron getting bumped into a guy. It's like his knee. He wouldn't have been able to finish that series. And beforehand, he was like Iron Man. You couldn't hurt him beforehand. So I'm like, oh man, LeBron's getting old on us. That groin was a few.
You pushing it.
He's not Iron Man. I don't know what superhero LeBron is, but
Iron Man is vicious.
Hey, he was the Hulk in Miami.
I think Jordan is Thor. You know what I mean?
I like it. Right? I like it.
Hey, you're listening to Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas and Zay. If you want to call in, 505-246-0610. Hey, we got to recap real quick, man. If the people weren't listening, I'm actually in San Jose at an event. I'm a board member for the Women's Premier Basketball Association in San Jose. And I actually want to bring this to New Mexico to where we can have a space for professional women or young ladies to be able to play and have it there in New Mexico. That's one of those things. But I was able to see my boy GP again. Gary Payton, if you don't know who GP is, he's going to come on the show at some point, and I will be having more celebrities. But, yeah, man, hey, GP said I was on his wall.
Next to Kobe Bean.
His two young fellas. I'm like, GP, you got to send me that picture, man. We're going to take a quick little break. Stay with us. We're going to recap the Pacers-Knicks game 2, maybe talk some Thunder, and we will get into some MVP action with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning that. So we'll be right back. 95.9 FM 610, the Sports Animal. Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas, with this boy Zay. It's been a great morning so far, recapping some things. The boy's traveling right now. But right now, we're going to get into the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Timberwolves game. Game 3, which is actually today. And OKC leads the series 2-0. I I did not think that OKC was going to win this game as
Really?
convincingly as they did. I didn't. I really didn't. I felt like Minnesota would have came out with a little bit more energy. I felt like it obviously the Ant-Man can't do it himself. Where's that supporting cast, right? He might end up being one of those dudes that is a LeBron that might end up leaving Minnesota, especially if he don't see no championship coming, right?
Oh yeah.
But don't you think it's
Yeah,
it's
he
inevitable
doesn't.
to a certain extent?
Ant is. I wouldn't say he's impatient, but he doesn't waste any time letting his thoughts be known. Like
He got that right.
Yeah, say you and Ant play together, right? And say you're supposed to be taking 15 shots and you only took 6. If you and him are sitting next to each other at the press conference, he's going to, as soon as he looked at the box score, he'll look over right at you, right in front of everyone. Like, why you only take 6 shots? Like, you got to shoot the ball. Get on you about it. So he's 100% going to do that to the front office and coaches if they don't get him what he needs. He had a great game, and they still couldn't hang.
See, I love him on the court. I'm not a fan of him off the court.
Yeah, I want you to get into that. I heard you say that beforehand.
I'm not. The way that he operates when he's not on the court, I think it's totally different.
It's like he's with the homies.
Yeah, he is with the homies. Trust me, he's with the homies. You know what I mean? But but you need it. You're a professional athlete, and where are you trying to go in your career? Like, where do you want to do? Like, a guy like me would have loved to have been an Ant-Man, especially coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
And I was used to getting the ball. I had to adapt. You know what I mean? I didn't. When I say adapt, I had to go rebound. I had to play defense, being 6'6", 6'7", playing the 3 or the 4, which is small forward, power forward, going against Tim Duncan or somebody on the 3 like a Scottie Pippen or something back in the day. You know what I mean? But the way that he can carry himself, I'm not saying he got to stand inside or anything like that, but just do better, man. Like,
yeah.
There's people that would love to be in his shoes. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just one of those things.
Here's what I think is weird, and I didn't get a chance when you were on the opening drive kicking it with Kenny. Tuesdays and Fridays, right? 9 to 9:30.
Yes, sir. Good looking. All the way up until the finals are over.
Yes, sir. So with Ant, I feel like the reason he can get away with it, and John Morant could too, if he would just be a little bit more disciplined and not be so open about everything.
Ant's the same thing. He's open.
Yeah, he is, but Ant walks up to the line. I think Ja stepped on it. Ja didn't just go past the line, but Ant just walks up to the line, will be looking at it, and he's like, okay, I'm not going to touch that. But he gets real close. But I think the reason that they get away with it is because of the way social media has made the culture popular. So, like, if you even look at ESPN, like the main ESPN page, some of these captions, they got slang in them. You know what I mean? Like the culture, that whole thing has become like the cool thing for athletics and basketball because the culture runs the NBA, if you really think about it.
Well, I'm going to get into my boy AI because he was the one that set the platform for these guys like a Ja or an Ant.
The baggy shorts and stuff.
Doing. Yeah, we can do that. We couldn't wear what they're wearing on the bench right now. They get to wear hats. They get to wear baggy stuff. You had to be in a suit. You had to look professional. And then if you're playing for a Larry Brown, who I did, you had to look extra professional because there was no way. I might even get Larry Brown on the phone. There was no way. I'm name dropping. There was no way a Larry Brown wasn't going to not say anything because he wanted you to be professional, right?
Yes.
That's his culture. And if you don't know who Larry Brown is, he was one of the top 10 coaches in the NBA that coached for multiple teams, including the Knicks, even though that was going bad. But I talk to him from time to time. Mm-hmm. You're listening to Unfiltered with your boy Kenny Thomas. You can call 505-246-0610 to chop it up with me and Zay if you have any questions. But, yeah, man, the biggest disappointment for me in this Minnesota OKC series is Randall. I expected him to come out and play better because I felt like he was the X factor. When you have Reed over there, he was the X factor. But when those guys are not making shots, it's a totally different situation. You can't go 3 to 5 wasted possessions playing against the OKC team and expect to be able to be close to them, especially playing on the road.
Yeah, and I tell you what, with the whole OKC thing, and I was planning on really getting into this when we talked about SGA and gave him his
Get
own
into
little
it.
gave him his
Let's
own
do
little
it.
segment. But so with SGA, and this goes into what I was saying about some toxic fans that LeBron's got. I'll say some. He got some toxic fans. So there's some
What is
also.
toxic?
So what I mean by toxic is like not like toxic relationship type toxic. I mean like so like if I say someone's a toxic fan, it's like, okay, if SGA just won the MVP and then you got his fans, he's better than Kobe, he's the next Kobe, Kobe couldn't do this. Don't be that type of
Kobe
fan. Don't
Okay.
be that guy.
I
Just
agree with that.
give SGA his flowers, okay, and let
Yes.
him be. Don't always turn it into this, because then that doesn't let us put SGA on the pedestal. That's what happened to LeBron early in his career. That's why he still had to deal with hate. Like, oh, Jordan the whole time, right from the get-go. And it's like, just let him be him. Let that guy be that guy.
Okay.
So you got
Now, go ahead. Finish, because I'm about to light into you.
so then you got guys, oh, SGA Kobe couldn't. I'm just like, dude, leave them in different categories, please.
You can't. Everybody's always going to compare somebody to somebody. It's a given.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you comparing me to Pascal Siakam, lighting the butt. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Now, the other thing, for SGA to be in a category with Kobe, and for LeBron to be in a category with the Michael Jordan, and you got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and a LeBron at the time, they were young. I know SGA's young now, but when LeBron was young, being able to be compared to those two guys.
It's a nod.
Are you kidding me?
So it's like a good thing. You think so?
That's why you nodding right now.
For
Up
sure.
and down, not side to side. Look at you.
It's a good thing for him. But and I tell you what, as I was watching the OKC game, and this is what I was going to say about SGA, I'm not going to let it ever come out of my mouth that I think he is comparable. But I can see why people are making that comparison, because when I do watch him, everyone gets caught up in clutch stats and the last 10 seconds. I don't think the last 10 seconds is clutch. I don't think amount of game winners tells you who's clutch, because what I remember watching Kobe do, and I see SGA do this, it's not the last 20 seconds where they're going to put the game away. As the game is going on, and it's like a pressure point, right? It's like you don't have to hit it hard, but you just got to do it at the right angle. You got to do it at the right time. And Kobe, and I know SGA did this last night, it could be 5-6 point game, 7 minutes left. Then you go on your scoring spurt. Now the game's 15, 16 point deficit with 3 minutes left. That doesn't count as clutch stats, right? People don't really realize that unless you watch the game. Yesterday, SGA, this actually happened in the third quarter. Timberwolves started getting closer. And the rest of the Thunder team, they started cooling off a little bit. Then SGA just went on a score. He started torching Jaden McDaniels.
Oh, yeah.
Jaden McDaniels couldn't hold him. Bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. And the next thing you know, it's a 15-point game, all SGA, which is why I think he got the MVP. And I see that's like killer instinct, right? Is that what a killer instinct you think is?
That's that assassin. That's that. You got to keep in mind, SGA is 6'6". I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah.
Because he looked like a Pascal Siakam to me, because they both skinny, you know what I mean? But with him being 6'6" and being able to go up against these guards, which are smaller guards, is obviously going to be more beneficial to him. You're listening to Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas. Call us to chop it up, 505-246-0610. But it kind of, if you had to choose, who would you choose right now? Between SGA and, I know I'm going off script right now.
Yeah, or like
between an SGA, Ant, or Bronson.
I think Brunson's also got that killer instinct. They all three got that.
I'm gonna go bigger. I'm gonna go SGA.
Yeah.
Long term, the height is an unbelievable advantage, right? But when you put SGA up against the Ant, I feel like that might be able to go either way. But you got SGA that's playing some really good ball, and he's very awarding of the MVP
Yeah,
right
he
now
is.
because between Giannis, Joker, and SGA, those three, and I have to agree with you. The last couple games solidified the MVP for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think for sure he closed that out.
Yeah, he closed it out. He closes out games, and again, like you don't in order to be considered a clutch player, you do not have to hit a game winner. I think there's more value, and honestly, as a fan, I appreciate it more if the star of my team allows me to relax the last 5 minutes of the game. What did we see the Lakers do in Evers past 5 minutes? Bronny got in. Bronny gets some shots up. You see your bench player get shots up, and the starters are celebrating. I like the game to be over with. I don't like it having to go down to the final. I want my. Well,
because it comes back to that assassin, like you were asking me earlier, like that assassin instinct. You want to see some good action at the end of the game. Why not?
Up until about 5 minutes. Once they send 5 minutes and look, because for guys,
your heart be pounding too.
Yeah, of course.
Man, and that's the greatest rush ever. The last couple minutes, man. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, as a player, maybe because you could do something. You could do as a fan. I'm sitting here and I can't do nothing. Like all I can do is watch.
Pray.
Yeah, all I can do is hope and pray. I'm not in there. I mean, I know the athletes love it, especially the great ones. They love that. But that's the thing. So with like SGA, Kobe, it's like if these games have come down to the point where they are 1-point games, no time left, I feel like that means something hasn't been going right because they tried to put it away 5-6 minutes ago and they weren't able to.
But that was a game 2 last night with the Pacers and the Knicks. It came down to the wire.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, I was looking at my phone when I was in the event.
How was that event yesterday? It was all good?
It was lit. It was good. It was a sold out room. My chief financial officer was there. She's the one that put on the event. She's the reason why I was here. Oh yeah, and another reason why I was here, KT Legacy Wines was on the table.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So got that spotlight with the wine. But yeah, I'm coming back home to get ready for my tournament that's still going on right now. I have a big Memorial Day weekend tournament going on that started yesterday. Probably have 200+ teams in about 6 to 7 gyms or something like that. And what's nice is each facility or each organization that we're working with will be able to make some money from it to it as well. But I'm excited. This is year 8 for the I-25 shootout showcase that me and my boy Josh Kearns has put on. But looking at having some kids on at the top of the hour. Probably we'll have another guest on, the CEO for the Women's Premier Basketball Association that I am an actual board member of. She'll be coming on, and we'll be talking about that a little bit, supporting the women. But we're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. 95.9 FM, 610 AM, the Sports Animal. Back to Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas and my boy Zay. Been chopping it up about multiple different stories. Apparently, my boy Zay got a question for me about the WNBA. Something going on with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Yeah,
because I'm out here a part of this women's association.
Yeah,
what you got?
Because if anybody's going to be able to speak up on it, it's got to be you. I mean, you just talked about how you're trying to improve it here in Albuquerque, get the stuff going here. So I mean, because you might have to deal with some situations like this. You might have maybe one player's getting, I don't know what word I'm going to use. I don't want to say jealous or dislikes or envious.
This is unfiltered. Say it all, bro.
So one player gets jealous of the other, and then bickering goes on, and then you're wondering, is it good for the content? Is it bad for the sport? Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark got into it because Caitlin Clark laid a hard foul. I'd say a harder than normal foul. It was called a flagrant. She saw Angel Reese give her teammate a forearm to the back. Angel Reese got the rebound, was going to go back up for the putback, and then Caitlin just comes through like a linebacker, lays a hit on Angel Reese. She falls down, gets up, and she sees nothing but red. She blacks out. She's trying to get to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's walking off like she just blew up the gas station and she's walking off like nothing happened, and she knows what she did.
Smart.
She's real good at being passive aggressive, man.
Smart.
She's real good at being passive aggressive.
Well, first of all, both of them women are great players, right? Like, think about the guys that are jealous of Steph Curry. Because I see Caitlin Clark as the women's Steph Curry.
100%.
I really do. You know what I mean? The way that she came from Iowa and changed the dynamic of the WNBA to where, hey, these women need to get paid more than $70,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you're that woman that's the elite one, you're making more money. Like Caitlin Clark is only making that, but her endorsements are off the chain probably, right?
Yeah.
Just like they were in college. There's obviously some jealousies there. If I'm Reese, I want to come at Caitlin Clark too because she's supposed to be the face. No, I'm pretty sure Reese is like, no, I'm the face.
Mm-hmm.
And Reese has always carried that persona about her, which I like to a certain
chip
extent.
on her shoulder. But
she's like the Ant-Man to me. You know what I mean?
It's like you never
know. You never know what you're gonna get, but you're gonna get that fine line, Caitlin Clark, to where, hey, I'm gonna disappear even though I just got that shot in.
Yeah.
You got to know when to get that shot in, and Caitlin Clark took advantage of that opportunity. And then when I see Reese cocking her hand back, man, and then I think Caitlin Clark's teammate was looking out for her because she grabbed her, but that could have been ugly.
And Caitlin turned her back to her. She's like, my teammates got me. That was the whole talk last year when who was it, Kennedy Carter? Andrew Reese's teammate had went at Caitlin. Everyone's like, where are her teammates? Where are her teammates coming to back her up? This time they swung to her like security guards, like came back around, grabbed Andrew Reese. I'm like, whoa. So do you think it's just nothing but competitiveness, or it is jealousy, or do you think it is deeper than that?
Both. Deeper.
Symbiota's like, I think she hates her.
Hate? I mean, hate is a strong word.
That's exactly what I said.
Hate is a strong word. Okay, first off, I can't say what I was about to say. I know it's
not that unfiltered. Yeah, we still got the FCC looking.
Yeah. But it's gonna be interesting to see how it all unfolds over the next few years, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some there's gonna be some chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's other ladies in the league that's going after Caitlin Clark anyway, because she comes in and she's changing the whole dynamic of the game.
Yeah.
Why did she get to come in and get all this spotlight? And we've been here doing it forever. You know what I mean? But
it's like, y'all ain't been doing that, though. You've been doing this, but you ain't been doing that, what she's doing.
See, but once again, the women that are already in there and the women that came in with Caitlin Clark and the women that are going to come in after Caitlin Clark, you need to be happy because she's going to allow you guys to get paid more, I think.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more opportunities for them, too, as well.
I bet not a single WNBA player that comes in after Caitlin Clark will have that jealousy about her, because
Why not?
I don't think they should, because I think it's because of the whole money aspect you just pointed out, and the flights and the way their flights are upgraded. And I think that if you've already been there, right, and then someone else comes in younger than you and you get those benefits, you feel like you paved the way for her. So it's like, I still got a right to feel the way I feel, because who knows if she would have been able to do that if we didn't pave the way for her. But if you're coming in after her, I feel like right now, the world's your oyster when it comes to WNBA, because you never expected. I mean, say you're a girl right now, you're in college, 2021. When you were 15, 16, you may have not expected to have this many eyes on you as a women's basketball player that you now do. So I feel like at least they should be more expected to give Caitlin Clark her flowers, at least respect her.
Well, they should, but that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, they're going to take Andrew Reese's side.
Man, think about the NBA. I played 11 years. I get respect, but I don't get respect, right? It's one of those things to where the new people that are coming in, it's a whole different ball game right now, I think, as a whole, when it comes to sports in general. I feel like in general, sports are soft now.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I only play one sport, but I played multiple sports growing up. But hey, if you want to chop it up with me and Zay, call 505-246-0610, Unfiltered with your boy Kenny Thomas.
Go
ahead.
No, go for it.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's definitely softer. But again, that's because of social media, dude. Everything has gotten softer.
What does social media have to do with anything when it comes to people being soft?
Because even right now, right? Say, we whatever we say on air, the worst case scenario is it blows up on social media and then everyone sees it, because everyone is walking on eggshells and has to respect it, because someone could take a video or something, cut up a little clip, make it look a certain way, and then shift the whole, vision or perception of you in the public eye. I think it's not a good thing. I think too many people lean on it. So, I don't bring it up as a point where I think it's valid, but unfortunately, like everything is all dependent on.
Whoa. We need social media right now in those clips.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. That's why we're trying to blow this show up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So explain to me how it's not good, because it is and it isn't, but people hide behind social media.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of trolls out there. Trust me, I know. That's why I don't manage my accounts like that.
You dealing with trolls?
Come on, man. Happens all the time.
It's probably the state fans.
How does that not happen?
I heard a couple people were not happy with your Siakam take.
Oh, really?
Some state fans.
If I care. So call into Unfiltered with your boy Kenny Thomas if you don't approve. This is why you call the 505-246-0610. I will keep it very professional. I will allow you to speak your voice. But if I don't agree, I will let you know.
Yeah, I was the one who showcased that for the listeners last week with the Siakam take. That did not.
Man, it's good for what we're trying to do. I don't care. Ask me if I care.
So at the top of the hour, so at this basketball thing, what are the age groups of these kids?
So my tournament that's going on right now, it is all ages, boys and girls. It's my biggest tournament that I have of the year with my boy Josh Kearns. These kids are going to be calling in at the top of the hour. These are some of the kids that are part of my AAU program that I created with my boy Josh that runs everything. Mm-hmm. It's called Zio Sports Academy. The majority of the kids we have girls. This is one of the things why also at the top of the hour we will be talking to the CEO of the WPBA, which is the Women's Professional Basketball Association, Fatima. That's why I'm here. And the kids are excited because I'm usually there every day. Even though I'm here, I'll be there tonight and I'll be there tomorrow. But the kids and the parents are all excited to see me when I'm there. They don't expect me to be there. They're like, "Are you Kenny Thomas?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here. My name's on that thing. Why wouldn't I be here?" But I'm not there now. But it's being able to help and support the kids is one of my biggest things. Being able to give these kids an out to be able to have an opportunity to be seen from colleges outside of New Mexico is what we're trying to actually do, to give these kids an opportunity to leave, to go on to actually expand and look at different opportunities for themselves. So if you want to chop it up with your boy, 505-246-0610.
What age, at what point, was that something before you got into the league, during your, like while you're in the league, or was it towards the end of your career? You're like, this is what I'm going to do on the back half. Well,
if the people that know me know that I did a basketball camp for like 7 out of my 11 years in the NBA back in Albuquerque. There's a lot of kids that are grown now. They're not kids. That are older now that said that I helped them to be able to be successful in certain ways and different things. But it's just one of those things to where any support that I could give these kids is what I'm going to do. And just trying to give them an out. And I'm there. I take pictures with them after. I sign a ball. But it's exciting, the fact that people actually are happy that I'm there and I'm doing different things in the community. There's not a time to where I can't walk around in the city and people are not saying thank you for the stuff I'm doing in the community. That really makes me feel good.
That's awesome. Right before the break, we've got Dan on the line, Kenny. So we're going to take this call from Dan right before the break. How's it going, Dan? You are on Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas.
New York!
What's going on? Hey, Kenny, what's up, big dog?
Hey, how you doing, Dan? What's going on, man? What's up?
Good show. Hey, a little bit about Reese and Clark. Come on, let's get real. Angel Reese, she's a troublemaker. She plays dirty. She likes the spotlight. Caitlin Clark is a little more laid back. She just plays the game. I think Reese had it coming, man. I think Peyton Clark just got tired of her BS, and I'm just from the outside looking in. That's what it appears to be. Reese seems a lot more apt to create that negative energy than Caitlin Clark does. She seems like she just plays the game. So that's my take on that. I kind of think like Angel Reese had it coming to her. But as far as you, Kenny, you don't mind if I say something negative, right?
Oh, here we go. What'd I do?
Kenny.
What's up?
Thank you for all the stuff you do for the community, bro. Keep on doing it.
That's not negative.
I'm not negative because I can't think of anything other than, well, no, we won't go there. No, Kenny, hey, thanks, man. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. I know all the parents and the kids love you for it. Make sure you spread out. Go up into northern New Mexico, which I know you do. Just keep on doing what you're doing and you know, seek out the volunteers. There's a lot of people that want to help you. So just ask and you'll receive, brother. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Dan.
I appreciate you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you calling in. I will touch on some of those topics that you brought up when we come back from the break. 95.9 FM, 610 AM, The Sports Animal. Unfiltered with your boy Kenny Thomas and Zay in the studio, hooking the boy up from behind the scenes. Dan, you had me nervous, Dan. I hope you're listening right now. You had me nervous when you said something negative was coming, but thank God he didn't say that. Only thing that was negative is Reese, and it wasn't Kenny Thomas.
Right? Yeah, you dodged the bullet.
There's going to be a lot of those bullets that need to be dodged. Jay, you kidding me? Say, Reese, negative, yeah, but she's doing it to herself right now. The way that she's coming off with the whole Caitlin Clark situation, she's still a beast. I feel like she needs to stay within herself and try and figure it out rather than coming at a lady that's helping you change the game and being competitive. That's going to happen. That's just instinctive to where you're trying to be, Reese is trying to be the best, but Caitlin Clark is already given that crown to a certain extent. And it's deserved. Caitlin Clark is a beast. Let's just keep it 100, right?
Yeah.
But when he was talking about northern New Mexico, I'm actually about to do some stuff with the university, northern New Mexico University, which is up there in Espanola, that area. June 1st through the 3rd, we're supposed to be doing something up there, and we're supposed to be doing something every month to where we're going to be doing a camp up there. Hector, the new president at the university, it's totally, he's excited about working with me, and nobody would have thought that I would be going up there to Espanola in that area anyway to being able to do some stuff with these kids. But I'm looking at doing some things in Santa Fe. I also have a basketball tournament coming up after Christmas, which is only 3rd through 8th grade because the high school kids will actually be in school playing with their schools at the time. But, yeah, Dan, I got you, man. I'm coming up north. And then when it comes to volunteers, Dan, people, you can always reach out to me on my social media, Kenny Thomas NBA. I appreciate that, the fact that he said that there's people in the community that want to support me. So thank you. You can also call 505-246-0610. I got a special guest coming on. It was last minute. She's the reason why I am actually in San Jose. She is the CEO, the founder for the Women's PBA League, which is Women's PBA. You can go to the website.com. Fatima, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How you
Good morning,
doing?
everyone.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
I'm going to keep this light right now, but I'm going to ask you some disturbing questions again about Caitlin Clark and the whole Reese situation. But tell us a little bit about your organization and what made you be able to become a founder and support the women and give them an opportunity.
No problem. So I created the Women's Premier Basketball Association in 2022 to really be able to empower women as well as the next generation of players in my community to help them, further their goals, whether it's on or off the court. Now, in 2025, we are the leading development league for women's basketball. Obviously, there is currently no G League for the WNBA, so we've been filling in that gap by being able to provide as many resources and opportunities for our players to be able to make their dreams come true. For the players that do come here, they have aspirations of making it overseas or, hopefully getting that opportunity to play in the W or these other top-tier leagues overseas. And by being a part of this, we make that all happen. So far we've been able to help more than 80 athletes get overseas. We have ties with FIBA, which allows us to have that global recognition, global credibility, which really strengthens just the overall opportunities for our players to be able to continue to build within their careers by being here.
So I kind of asked Kenny this same question earlier, and I asked him, at what point did you decide you wanted to turn and start helping out others? And then also, what went into the decision making? So I want to ask you the same as well. When did you decide that, I want to, push for this cause and help this cause? Because it seems like you were really ahead of the curve, because this whole, the WNBA, the spike, at least in the ratings and the viewership, it has been kind of recent. So what led to you making that decision?
That's a great question. I think just my upbringing, it really helped me to put things into perspective of wanting to do the work to be able to provide more opportunities for the women in my community. I think at that pivotal point in my life when I was younger, when my family and I we were experiencing a lot of hardship, basketball was that one thing that helped me to really find what my purpose is and to just help me to stay on the right track. Like, obviously, the game, the sports in general, they build character, they build community, they give us these life skills that we're going to be able to use in our everyday lives. And by really learning that at a young age and realizing that it's bigger than me, how can I be of service to my community? That's what ultimately led to this, because I'm just like, my career, my path to becoming a pro wasn't traditional. I wasn't a first, second, or third round draft pick. I hardly played in college, but I was always around winning culture. And I knew what it took to be able to win: hard work, determination, and just being persistent. So I applied that, especially when I finally got my first opportunity to play overseas. I started out, when you're starting out, when you're trying to get your foot in the door, you're not always in the best situation. So I really had to grind it out. And my love for the game really helped me to continue to transcend forward, because when I got my first opportunity, I didn't care where I was at. I took it and I made the most of it. And from that, I was able to open up so many other doors moving forward to now becoming, a 7-year professional athlete, playing for the Jamaican national team. And I'm just like, okay, well, how can I provide some of these same opportunities for women in my community that don't, ideally take the traditional route? So being able to put all of those things into perspective and pick, what I liked from certain leagues, what I didn't like from certain leagues, and then envision what I felt would be the perfect league to help people, that's kind of what really put things into perspective for me and helped me to really just execute what my plan was. Like, at the end of the day, there's so few spots in the WNBA, and there's so many talented players, and more of these women need opportunities to be able to get to where they need to be. Like, we even see it now. A lot of cuts have been made this year alone. There's been a lot of wave players in the W, and it's just like, where do they go? Where can they develop? Where can they stay in shape so if they do get a call up, they're going to be in the best place possible? Or can we help them build so that they can get ready for their next overseas opportunity? So I put all of that intention into the Women's Premier Basketball Association, and that's why we're the leading development league, and we're doing what it is that we can to continue to elevate and uplift our community here in Oakland.
Awesome.
It's huge to be able to, it's huge to be able to support women sports from the standpoint of being able to use my influence and come and support. It's been an honor. I've only known Fatima for the last couple months, and here I am being a part of her organization and being on the board and helping to help it grow and expand to where we can support women. Can you tell us a little bit about the gala that happened last night and what you were trying to do there?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
It was fun.
So, again, that was such a special moment for us. It was our inaugural WPBA Foundation Gala, and we had everyone come out. The community came out and supported. Kenny was there. Cassidy Melvin was there. Gary Payton was there. Robert Turbin, Super Bowl champion from the Seahawks, he was there. And just some very key people in the community that are, working to really invest and build a sustainable future for women's sports were there. So it was beautiful to be around that and that energy. It was great to see all of the smiles on everyone's faces because, again, a lot of work goes into being able to put something like this together so that we can really share what the mission and the vision is for this organization and the foundation. So it just, Kenny, again, I know you're super busy, but it meant so much to me that you made the time to still come out. And we need more people like that that really believe in what this is in order for this to continue to move forward. So I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Do you want to stick around with me for a little bit? We're going to take a little break real quick. I would love to keep you on for a few more minutes.
Yes, of course.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. 95.9 FM, 610 AM, The Sports Animal. Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas and my boy Zay. I have my guest on the phone. She's an amazing woman. She started the WPBA League for Women, and I'm excited to be a part of the organization. Fatima, you there?
Yes, I am.
Question for you. You have 8 teams, and the league is for 3 months. What are some of the things that you're doing in the community? Because that was one of the things that you were talking about at the gala yesterday, to being able to engage in the community. And how do you see the league expanding?
Oh, amazing. So how do I see the league expanding? We're looking to expand next year. Obviously, I want to be able to put this out over on the East Coast, maybe over as well in New Mexico, because, again, there's so much talent all around the country. And I know you guys are huge basketball fans out that way, so that would be special to be able to, bring this out here, bring this out there, and to give the women on that side, an opportunity, and just some of the things that we're doing in the community. We also are partnered with U.S. Sports Camps to be able to bring all girls basketball camps in the summer to girls within our community. We're getting ready to do another an event with Youth Beat, which will be talking about, sports media, other fields in sports that allow the youth to kind of get firsthand knowledge, get firsthand look on just, opportunities, whether it's in broadcasting, especially on the media side. We're also going to be touching on financial literacy and just helping them get job ready with putting them through like mock interviews on how to conduct themselves whenever they do get a job interview, how to best represent themselves so that they can, be in the best position to obtain that opportunity. We're also going to be doing a lot of health and wellness initiatives within the community. I know I'm super big on mental health. I went to school for psychology, so like any athlete, we all know the game is 90% mental and 10% physical, but if we're able to give youth in our community the tools to be able to just learn more about themselves so that they can show up as their best selves on a day-to-day basis, I know that we're doing a great job there. So those are just some of the things that we've got going on, and I know you're going to be around for some of it, so I'm going to be super excited to have you.
I'm excited.
That's awesome, and I love. I actually wanted to go into sports psychology at first until I realized the amount of definitions I had to learn, and I got scared and was like, yeah, I'll pass. Like the whole concept of wanting to help and everything is great, but then like every single thought has like a definition to it, and then there's a bunch of it's so tough. So I give you kudos to that. But because you just said you're in it, this is something that I think is a big deal. And I know Kenny he's got a lot more experience in this field. I'm still learning just after sports and how important it is for athletes to understand that your abilities, whether it's on the field, on the court, on a tennis court, whatever it is, your abilities is not your value as a person. So like how important,
exactly.
So how important is that message, going through that with these athletes to get them to understand that, like, yes, you put a lot of time into this, so it's very important. And yes, you really want to win. and you know it's okay to be that way, because being competitive and really wanting to win is going to make you a better athlete. But also, how thin is that line between, you know, I really want to win, and also if I lose this game or if I don't do my job, I'm a failure as a person? Because as a football player, that was the pressure that started killing me, and that's when I knew I was done. I was like, I'm tired of feeling like I need to go out there and get 5 tackles or else all this has been a waste.
I mean, that is super important. And again, just that example that you gave, like, especially when we've been doing something for so long in our lives, like we tend to, you know, put that as our true identity, when in reality, we're so much more than just the player. And I think the Women's Premier Basketball Association, we do a really good job of helping people to realize, like, it's not just about being a player. How can we help develop better people? Because the ball is going to stop bouncing at some point, right? So how can we really and truly help them get set up for success? Because you go through this identity crisis once you stop playing the game. How can we help players navigate that as best as possible so the transition isn't that hard? How can we help them realize that there's community, there's resources around what they may be going through? How can we just make sure that we are there to support them as best as possible? So again, like, that is super important. And I think, you know, even with what I'm doing with my career, like, I've been playing for 7 years, but at that halfway point, I was just like, how can I do more? Like, I'm not just this player. Like, my identity had just been, you know, a basketball player for so long, but how can I show these other sides of me so that I can do a better job of just really being more of a resource? Because we never know, like, who could be in a certain position that, you know, really needs someone to be able to confide in. And, you know, that's what we're definitely trying to do here. So, again, I think that is so important, because we need people to realize that, yes, the sports, it's not what defines you. It's the vehicle that helps you to get to where you want to be.
Amen to that. Yeah. Which is the vehicle, which is them feet, but I hear you. But it's a different vehicle. Fatima, I want to thank you for coming in. Calling in. I see the season starts June 8th. I'm excited to see. You can actually go to the website, womenspba.com, if you want to stream it. But what are you expecting that's different from the past 3 years or so, opposed to this year when you're talking about the league as a whole? I mean, I know you're helping women, but how are you helping them to be able to impact their communities while playing?
I mean, we're going to be so much more involved in our community this year. I know that, you know, some of the initiatives that I talked about earlier about what we're going to be doing, that's going to be so important. But again, I really want to make sure that we are tapping in with our AAU programs, our high school and middle school programs, because again, like, being able to see, and I talk about this all the time, representation matters. When young women, when little girls are able to see women like us on the court, but also know that, you know, some of these women are in corporate, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're teachers, they're agents, and they see that they're able to do both, it sends such an impactful message. And I want to be able to do more of that here in Oakland, because again, it is you know, they don't have as many opportunities as they should. And there's so much talent here. The culture here is so rich, and I want to be able to do what I can to continue to put a spotlight on Oakland, because these women, these girls, the people here, they deserve it. So
okay, so this is
what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Great answer, and this is probably my last question, but I think it's going to be my best one.
This ain't no question. This is where that unfiltered comes in, boy.
So this will actually be a good one. This will be it's a new renowned version of what I was going to ask, but now after this conversation, so now I really want to ask it this way. So you're obviously very, very invested into, you know, spreading the awareness of the basketball, of the, you know, the program. So I want to ask you, because you might be a little biased when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because she also is rapidly spreading the awareness. So my question to you is, take your perception of Caitlin Clark right now in the position you're in. Now also take your perception if you were a player and you were also maybe in the same age range as her, Angel Reese, and you were playing in the same situation that they were. would your perception be any different? Do you think that, maybe now in this position, you're very, very thankful for her because she's spreading the awareness, but if you were a player, you'd be competitive and maybe there would be some of that jealousy? Or do you think you'd be one of those players that was very, very thankful still?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, our mission for the entire sports ecosystem is to continue to grow the game. Competition, it's in the spirit of the game. There's going to be rivalries. There's going to be chirping, all of that stuff. But again, like, I think at the end of the day, like, what Angel Reese and Caitlin are doing, like, they're putting eyes on the league, whether it's them chirping at each other or them doing great things in the community. So at the end of the day, like, I'm grateful for anyone that's helping to move the needle forward. Like,
man, come on, Fatima. Man, come on. This is unfiltered.
Yeah, but I'm team women, so I'm here for women empowerment. It's going to happen. Guys argue on the court, whatever it may be, but next play, let's go. Let's get it. The goal is for all of us to be able to elevate, and that's what they're doing, whether it's scoring buckets on each other or chirping. It's a part of the game. So I'm thankful.
Girl.
That's. I guess I'll take that. I'll take that approach.
It's like promoting a boxing match, right? It's like, all right, both fighters, whether you like each other, you don't like each other, we're making each other more money. We're bringing more eyes.
Iron sharpens iron. We're making each other better. We're making the product stronger. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Let's continue to build.
I got one last thing for you before I let you go, and thank you for being patient.
We got a lot of last questions, but I'm ready for it.
Hey. Is there any age barriers? What's the age limit and can somebody be too old, or how does that work?
No.
I'm curious.
I mean, like, you see the women overseas, they're maybe 45 and they can still go. We see women here in the league like Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. They've played for a really long time because they've kept their bodies healthy. At the end of the day, if you are healthy and you are at the level of where you're able to compete and still be productive, like, you can play in this league. Our only other restriction is that we need players to have graduated from university. They shouldn't have any more eligibility within college because obviously we are getting players overseas. So that's one of our requirements. But if you can go, you can go. If you can play the game, please bring your A game here because it's going to help everybody else get better.
Fatima, thank you so much for coming on. I know it was last minute. I appreciate it. And the things that you're doing for the women is amazing. So if you want to follow out there, womenspba.com. Fatima, thank you. And I will talk to you soon. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you, Kenny. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Got you.
Great.
We're going to take a quick break. Oh, yeah, it was amazing. We're going to take a quick break. We will come back at the bottom of the hour. 95.9 FM 610, The Sports Animal. We got some good topics coming back. Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas is back. We're at the last 30 minutes of the show. We're about to get into some other stuff when it comes to mental health.
The real stuff.
Which is a huge part of sports. I will throw this out there. I will be doing some mental health segments where I will be bringing my doctor on, Dr. Catherine Grill, who I work with the county, doing some of the promoting of the vendors through the county. I was the county's mental health ambassador. But there's multiple ways that we can go about this because mental health in sports is a huge component, and mental health in life is huge. Man, I'm about to put myself out there.
Let's do it.
My last 3 years in the NBA, I didn't play. I was making 22-point-something million over those 3 years. And I was like, man, I wanted another contract. You know what I mean? And I was like, my mental wasn't there. I wasn't playing. And people probably don't know this. I had 10 coaches in 11 years.
Wow.
I had one in Philly, and then, I had one in Houston, and then between Philly and SAC were the other 9. That's crazy even saying the other 9 coaches.
Yeah.
It was a roller coaster for me because when I signed my big contract in Philly, that first year I ended up averaging a double-double. I was in the top 10 with KG, Tim Duncan. I was the shortest, 6'7", 6'8", to average a double-double.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the NBA ballot like several years, maybe about 5 years before that. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to be an all-star.
Yeah.
Didn't happen because there was a coaching change with Larry Brown leaving, and then I had some more coaches come in.
People don't
And it was
realize how
hard.
much that matters.
Oh, it was hard because coaches are coming in and they have their own plan.
Yes.
And if it's not their plan, the front office has their plan on who should be playing. I feel like the front office should stay out of the situation and let the coach do his thing. It was an unbelievable roller coaster because I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't playing. I was all over the place. I was lost. And when I say I was lost, I was really, really lost.
How hard is that? Just as far as like, you get. I don't know if you were getting houses or getting apartments or condos or what you had to do, but just constantly like you don't want to get too set up in somewhere because it's like at that point you get anxious about it. Like, am I even going to be here longer and long enough to get comfortable and call this place home?
Yeah, I mean, I never bought a house in Philly. I was in a condo, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? From the standpoint of like, hey, I don't see myself staying in Philly. And then we went to go look at houses, and it just wasn't the time, and it just wasn't the right fit. So I ended up being in a condo by the water. I used to stay in Jersey all the time, which is crossing the bridge from Philly. But it was a tough situation, man. It's just one of those things. If you want to call in and chop it up with your boy, 505-246-0610. Yeah, I'm putting myself out there, Zay, right now. I don't tell a lot of people this stuff.
And I was, I've been looking forward to getting into these type of topics with you. So what was, and also it helps me out. I had a smooth transition. I feel like guys, I know you're doing media now and you did TV as well for NBC, but when I was very, very lucky to have a smooth transition. Like I never once was wondering because as soon as I knew I was done playing, I instantly got into sports journalism and, doing play-by-play and stuff. So even now, I do miss playing, but I don't feel so separated from the sport where I feel like I'm free-falling because it's like I'm still involved. And I was just telling you off air, it feels weird having to watch sports. Right now as I'm feeling like, okay, sports are done, I need to get in my adult mindset, quote unquote, and start doing things that make sense. But I'm like, wait, I have to watch the highlights. Like I have to watch these games or I won't be able to talk. So before I answer this phone, what got you out of that hole? Like what was the first platform where you felt like, okay, now I feel like I'm on a different boat and I have some type of direction?
That's a great question. I had a restaurant in Sacramento. A couple years after I was done, ended up failing, crappy partners. Then next thing you know, I got a call from NBC. I got an email from NBC California about doing a pregame, halftime, postgame show. I was like, I always said to myself, I would love to do something like that. And I wanted to get into media and I wanted to have a voice. I feel like me being able to do NBC Sports set me up for me to be able to do radio and have the 3 different shows that I have, because being on that live platform with those cameras, it could be a little intimidating, man. I'm going to put this out there. There was a Sweaty Kenny segment because we could probably look that thing up online, because the first show we did in the arena, Sacramento Kings, was me, Matt Barnes, and our co-host. And I did the first segment, the opening, the pre-show. Then the halftime show, it was interesting. I started sweating, man. It just came out of nowhere. Like, like you don't even know what to say. Like, it started dripping down. And next thing you know, everybody's like, "You all right? You all right?" And then it's like the anxiety of like sweating in that moment, and then you can't stop.
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead,
I feel like, and I'm definitely no psychologist. I'm no Fatima.
No, you are not no psychologist.
Yeah, I am not at all. There's so much work that goes into that, and they're truly doctors. But, what I think it correlates to is because, mine was in college. Mine wasn't in the pros. But when I got to college, I didn't have the same coach. Like, I played college football, 5 years? I was on a team for 6. They kept trying to get me to play. I'm like, look, I'm done. I had so many injuries where I was missing seasons. Like, oh, you can come back, But I had a different coach every single year. And I feel like, the reason you get nervous for things like that is because in your mind, you want to give it your all and you want to be perfect. Yep. and you want to do everything the exact way because you're so used to always feeling, maybe not eggshells, but you're so used to feeling like you have to do your best first try right now, right away, or else your opportunity might be gone. So you add all this pressure, and it's like, I want to do perfect every single time right away. And you don't feel that comfort of, oh, well, if I mess up this season, next season we got a coach coming back, and I can, I'll leave where I started off.
Yeah, because there's always a new player coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a revolving door, and it's about performing and it's about numbers. If you want to chop it up with your boy and Zay, 505-246-0610.
Yeah, we got Cardle on the line, actually.
Oh, we got a caller on the line.
Yes, Cardle, you are now live on Unfiltered. How you doing?
Good, man. How y'all doing today?
I'm good. What's up? What you got for me, man?
So, talking about the mental game, I play a lot of golf, and I have a buddy I play with, and I always see, like, he gets these really highs and lows. If he has a really good hole, he'll be really pumped and excited about it. And then it kind of like that excitement sometimes makes him play even worse on the next hole because his emotions, are not in check. And I think golf is like one of those games where, like, your emotions have to be almost even keel. You can't go too high or too low. And I see that happen in other sports too, where, a guy will have a great game or a great series. And then, that momentum sometimes is too much for their mental capacity to keep that momentum going. You know what I mean?
It's a great point.
I totally agree. Because me playing in the NBA, before every game, before the tip-off, my hands would get all sweaty. So when it comes to performing and the pressure's there because you have to perform to be able to continue to get opportunities, which is going to open up more doors for you to be able to make more money. So brought up a lot of good points, man.
Yeah,
else?
That's a
did
fact.
We lose him?
Yeah, no, yeah, he. I heard him hang up. I think he was just listening. But
okay,
yeah, bro, and it's like that pressure there. So in just what he said, I know for basketball, baseball, and golf, I'm sure it's the most important in these three sports. Like what he just said, not getting too up and getting too excited. You as a player, because I watched the highlights when you dropped 32 on the Lakers, and I could tell your midi was going in that game. You were in his zone, and you were making good passes too. So when you get into that flow, how hard is it? Because I know this happens to NBA players all the time. You see a guy hits 3 shots and he throws up a half quarter. It's like, what are you doing? As a player, how do you find that balance with let me not knock myself out of the flow by like discrediting myself, but let me also be aware that I'm hot right now. But I don't want to get too excited, but let me just stay in the sweet spot.
Well, with me, that game, for instance, when you're flowing, you're flowing.
Flowing is the key word.
And when your teammates are acknowledging that and they're giving you the ball and it's being consistent and plays are being called for you, that's the way it should be, especially if you have it going. With golf, I'm terrible sometimes off the tee box, but then that's hurting me because I'm in my mind, I got to recover and I got to get on in 2, which is not always going to happen because I'm always trying to score. You're trying to score, which means you're trying to get a lower number, right? Especially when it comes to golf. The aspect when it comes to the mental approach on how you approach things, I feel like it can allow you to be able to be more successful when you don't get in your head. You got to find a place to where you got to take your mind to a safe place or a relaxing place. This is where music can come in on the golf course. You know what I mean? Like to where it's actually allowed now to where you don't have to turn it down and it's there. But to that caller for calling in, thanks, man, because it affects you. Your mental capacity can affect you in multiple ways, not just playing sports. So we're going to take a little quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you're good. Like you said, when you say find a place, I feel like there's some things in life, especially when you're younger and you're getting older, you hear a lot of things and it just becomes cliche. But then all of a sudden, when you hit the real world and you adult, you realize that like those little things that you thought were cliche, you heard it a lot because it really is what you have to do. And finding a place, I feel like that's something people hear that and they think they can just do it. And it's like, no, you actually have to learn how to find like a place where you're in your comfort zone. Because if you can't find that, then you're in trouble. And I think that's when sports psychologists are so important, especially for like kickers. Like imagine like a kicker or something. He gets into that funk, or a basketball player. You get into a shooting slump. I feel like that's one of the toughest things to get out of.
Hey, I had one. Those last couple of years I wasn't playing in Sacramento, I was all out of whack because it didn't make sense, and they weren't telling me why I wasn't playing.
Man,
It's just like, hey,
that's the
you sit
worst.
here and you're just gonna play. We're paying you. You don't get to say anything, right? So I had to find a different approach because it was hard. Because I'm like, I could go out there and help because I can rebound and play defense, and I know I can score. I get an opportunity to score, it's gonna happen, and that's where that confidence comes in. But I'm not being arrogant, if that makes sense. I just know what I was capable of. And then when I had somebody in my sight to where, hey, I can go at this dude, I'm licking my chops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going at this dude. And I didn't care who it was, KG, Michael Jordan. I did not care. So we're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be right back. We'll talk about some more NBA stuff. We'll recap a couple things. I did get to see my boy GP, Gary Payton, yesterday. He did tell me I was on his wall with Kobe Bryant. Can you believe that? 95.9 FM, 610 AM, The Sports Animal. We are in the last segment with Unfiltered with your boy Kenny Thomas. Zay, what's up, man? You got something for me, but
What's up?
I got to say, man, we building right now. This is actually pretty legit, bro. This is only our second show, and look at where we at.
Making
You know
moves.
what I mean?
Making progress.
You could actually smile, man, when you say making moves. I'm just kidding. What's up, man? What you got for me?
So,
you got a question for me?
Yeah. So, and this is when I'm actually going to ask detailed questions that make it dig deep, because I was in the football locker room. You were in basketball, NBA locker rooms with some of these big name stars too, who I know can also relate to a lot of the stuff, with the mental health we're talking about. But for me, whenever I would be going through something, there'd be certain people or certain coaches like on the team, whether it be roster or coaching staff, that I knew I could go to that would get me through those things. I know in the pros, I know some people, I don't know if teams do this, where there's like a team counselor or like psychologist. That's how that works?
It depends on the team. The 3 teams that I was on, there was somebody there, but
Yeah.
but do you trust him?
Yeah,
Let's keep it real.
Yeah,
man,
because you're being paid
Go
to be
ahead.
here. Like you're
Yeah, but you can open up a little bit too much, and then next thing you know, it gets back to the front office. To where, let me tell you something, man. You feel like there's people that you can trust, but you can't really trust people because you can say some things in confidence, and it gets back. It's a business. Obviously, each player makes a significant amount of money, but each player has insurance. The team has insurance on the individual. You know what I mean? Just in case something happens with that player because of the contract stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had 10 coaches in 11 years. I can name them all off, but I'm not going to do that. I'll name a couple. Rudy Tomjanovich was good. I could go to him when I was on the Rockets. You got Larry Brown, who I talk to sometimes still. He was amazing. He left and went to Detroit, crushed me. And then you had Chris Ford, who coached Larry Bird and the Celtics back in the day. He was good. And then you get to Sacramento, you got Rick Adelman. He was amazing. He passed away. His son is the head coach for the Denver Nuggets right now.
nice.
But I really confided in my family more.
Yeah.
I confided in my agent to where I'm telling him to where he needs to call the front office, and then that's where you have this buffer in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it comes down to results, man. If you're not producing, being productive is numbers. It's numbers. And then towards the end of my career, it was a plus minus game, to where if you're in the minus,
Yeah.
a lot of coaches believe in that, man, to where, hey, we need to pull this dude out. Things are not going right. I had a couple of those opportunities with a couple coaches out of those 10 to where it was just unfair. It wasn't realistic. When you have a guy like Allen Iverson playing the passing lanes, that's taking him out of the equation when it comes to supporting defense, right? To where he's putting the other 4 guys under the hot seat. You know what I mean? But that's no excuse. But that plus minus thing was real.
Yeah,
and it wasn't good.
That's going to be tough, and especially when you're in the game of trying to be a good teammate, right? And you want to be about the team, but then it's like, someone's not scoring or someone's getting turnovers and it's hitting your plus minus and you're like, man, you've got your solidified spot. You don't care about your plus minus. You're hurting me.
Exactly. And my whole thing was to play the right way. When you had opportunities, take advantage of those opportunities. It's not like I couldn't score.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew how to score, but it just wasn't on a consistent basis. If you go back and look at some of my stats, I had to be damn near perfect from the field to get like 10, 12 points. I used to go get it off the rebound. I used to go get it off the boards, man. I'm like, I'm not getting no shots. I got to figure it out. I got to run the floor, and then it's going to come easy. Maybe I get fouled, get to the free throw line, get myself going a little bit, but yeah.
Something that's super cool? I'm a little bit of a game head, so I got to bring this up. Now, this is cool. So you probably know about NBA 2K because they had to have asked.
I'm on that thing.
I'm about to say they had to have asked you for rights. Yeah, I'm looking at your My Team card here.
What is it?
So you got this, you got the 89 My Team card, and I'm looking at, so with My Teams, like if they start out the beginning of the year, they have a bunch of like 70s and like 80s and stuff, but then as the year goes on, they drop like higher and higher level cards.
Uh-huh.
And they gave you, you got an 89 card here, and I'm looking at the badges they gave you. Now they put work into this. I'm not somebody who just, he's bad on 2K.
Now
he's good
they
on this.
do.
Yes.
Now they do. Back in the day, they didn't put in work. This is fire.
So
okay,
I'm gonna read off some of the badges they gave you, right? So you got gold paint. You got gold paint prodigy. I'll explain what these badges mean. So these are gonna be your finisher ones. You got gold paint prodigy, gold physical finisher, gold paint powerhouse, post powerhouse, gold post up poet, gold posterizer, and gold rise up. So basically what they were saying is when you were in the paint near the basket, you had some force to you. You had some force to you. You had some balance. You had the ability to get the ball in the bucket. So they're giving you that for your finishers. Hey, get this. For shooting.
I was springy, bro.
For shooting, you got post fade phenom on gold. Post fade. So
phenom.
Were you hitting post fadeaways? Were you post?
I was doing everything. What? What? You better go. Yeah, that's where YouTube comes in. You better go look that up. Kenny Thomas NBA highlights. Are you kidding me? Is gold the highest? Is it platinum?
So I think it goes Hall of Fame and then platinum, or it's gold and platinum. But gold, if you have gold, that means like that's when the game makes it actually effective. When it goes higher than gold, it's just like OP, ridiculous.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. I got to get the game is at home. I need to get a console. I need to get a new PlayStation console, man. I haven't played with myself yet, but let me tell you something. Every 6 months, them checks come.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
Them checks,
that's
royalty
crazy.
checks come.
Ooh.
Yeah. NIL.
Hey.
I used to get a check every 6 months. Now they're making it March. They go give us all of it in March.
Okay. So
and
you
I
get
got something else for you.
One big boy. What's up?
Yeah, I get one big boy. But it depends. I mean, obviously, everybody gets paid differently to a certain extent based off of the scaling and all that. 89, I'm close to 90. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm cheesing right now.
Hey.
And if you're listening to this, keep playing with me out there. I need to keep getting them checks.
Yeah, if you got 2K, go to the auction house. Get Kenny Thomas in the auction house. Hey, so for defensive.
That's fire.
You got box out beast gold. So that means you were in there putting the back on people, get them out the way.
What?
Brick wall.
Especially if I had a little guard on me.
Uh-huh.
What's brick wall?
Brick wall is...
Or Pascal Siakam on me.
So the description of the brick wall badge in 2K, so what it is that means that you were setting good screens and that when people were running into you, there was like some force. It wasn't just... You weren't lighting the butt.
Bro.
You weren't lighting the butt.
I'm a little pudgy right now, but back then, bro, just say.
They saying you had some strength on you. You had a little bit of football in you. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Hey, I played running back, bro.
Okay.
Back in middle school, them kids used to hang on me, hang on the legs in El Paso, Texas, hang on both legs, get on my back. They couldn't bring me down, man. And then I stopped playing.
So here's the one you're going to appreciate the most, I think. The two you're going to appreciate the most. You got gold pogo stick. So pogo stick means you have the ability, say you go up for a block and it's a pump fake. As soon as you hit the ground, you got the ability to get right back up. Say you're going up for a rebound, go down and get right back up quick. Pogo stick.
Hey, it was I was fatter in college. I was bigger. Got to the pros. Got my own trainer. Bro, I was springy. I walk on my toes naturally.
Oh,
that's what it is. Watch, when you see me again, I'm always on these toes, bro. If you know what I mean.
Is that a choice, or is just always just naturally?
No, it's just natural.
That's dope. Okay, and the last one.
Look at these calves. Don't look at my calves like that. But look at these calves next to me.
Don't just walk up to me and get down and look at my calves. All right,
you got one more.
Yeah, your last one is gold rebound chaser. So that and that pogo stick combined, they go hand in hand. That means you're not only getting up there, that means you're finding the ball, you're taking it off the rim, crashing the boards. You said a double-double at 6'7"? Yeah, you got to give him rebound chaser.
Yeah, man. I took advantage of the situation of being active and being smaller, having to go up against some of the 4s and 5s. It was hard. It really was, and it wasn't easy. Playing against Tim Duncan, David Robinson, night in, night out, bro, it was one of those things. But, hey, 89 NBA 2K? Are you kidding me?
We'll take it.
But, hey, I want to tell you, everybody out there, thank you for joining me and my boy Zay on Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas. 95.9 FM, 6:10 a.m., the Sports Animal. We will be here next Saturday from 10 to 12 Mountain Standard Time. Join me. Thank you for the people that called, and thank you for the people that's listening. See you next week on Filter with Kenny Thomas.